That's it, off and running in this Dennison commercial sponsored 4yo Geldings Maiden as they make their way on the climb that's going to take them on the run towards their first of 14 fences, and will be jumping. Prominent early on as they do so is going to be Jet of Wind in company with Beyond Emily Lions, and they in turn are being followed next up in the field by Ratio 50 in Station, being followed over in turn then out wide by Party in the Park. Towards rear is Ballyfernog Boy as they make their way on now to disappear and continue the left-handed run across the top of the track, where they'll shortly meet the downhill run that's going to take them on their way towards the first of two fences in the back straight, number 2 in all that they'll be jumping on this circuit. But as they do so, Jet of Wind was up there with Ratio 50, and also prominent was Beyond Emily Lines as we wait for them to reappear. So as they continue now to come back down the hill, and out front with the advantage, it is Jet of Wind with Beyond Emily Lines in the sheepskin noseband towards the outside. They in turn have been followed by Staten, who in turn has been tracked next up in the field by towards the outside there races Party in the Park, and they in turn have been followed next up in the field behind Party in the Park by Ballyfernog Boy. Just ahead of that one's Ratio 50, and behind Ratio 50 then races Leo Sun, the blue jacket, with last of all is Four Springs. Heading on the way there towards number 3, and out front with the advantage, it is Jet of Wind and Jack Hendrick who show the way, being chased in second spot by Beyond Emily Lines and Barry O'Neill. They in turn have been followed next up in the field by Ratio 50 and Jamie Scallon. Between horses then races Ballyfernog Boy and Mac Gann. Towards that one's outside races Staten, the mount as they continue with the way on of Shane Cotter. Next up and behind these as they continue to straighten on back into the home straight towards the next one they'll be jumping, which is number 4, races the Black Jacket of Party in the Park as they rise out over that one. Ballyfernog Boy took a chance. Mac Gann done well to keep the partnership intact, but survives as they continue now to make their way on up past the post. And out front with the advantage, it's close to call between Jet of Wind, the Black Jacket, and the inside. Towards that one's outside races Beyond Emily Lines, and they in turn have been followed next in the field by the half jacket of Ratio 50 down the inside. Party in the Park and the Black Jacket with the purple cap races out a bit wider. They in turn are being tracked next up in the field by Ballyfernog Boy. Four Springs in the quarter cutters is towards rear, and last of all at this point is Leo Sun. Making their way on the uphill climb is going to take them on towards the next fence they'll be jumping, number 6. And as they do so, over in front with the advantage, it is Jet of Wind being followed in second spot by Beyond Emily Lines. Right in behind these then races Ratio 50, and they in turn are being tracked by Party in the Park with Station. Further back and behind them then to find Ballyfernog Boy as they make the bend that's going to take them along the top of the track. They'll shortly be making the descent into the back straight, and out front, Jet of Wind and Beyond Emily Lines. They've disputed the advantage since flagfall, and as they continue now to make the run, that's going to take them down the hill, shortly coming back into clear view. And out front with the advantage, Jet of Wind with Beyond Emily Lines towards the outside. Staten's in third, and they in turn are being followed next up in the field by Ballyfernog Boy, and right in behind them then, as they rise at this next one, races Staten with Party in the Park. Behind these is Leo Sun in company with Four Springs. Right in they go now to go across the stream once more, and as they do so, it is Jet of Wind, the son of Getaway, on debut for Jack Hendrick, who shows the advantage. We've followed in second by Beyond Emily Lines and Barry O'Neill. Barry bidding for a double on the card. They in turn are being followed next up in the field by the next one racing, which is Ratio 50 and Jamie Scallon. Staten's towards the outside under Shane Cotter, and between horses then goes Ballyfernog Boy and Mac Gann. They in turn have been followed next in the field by Party in the Park and Brian Lawless. Leo Sun and Rob James has just one behind, and that is Four Springs and Noel McParlin. Making their way back into the home straight on the run towards the next fence they'll be jumping, which is number 9. It's 6 in the finish this time, and as they do so, out front with the advantage, it is Jet of Wind from Beyond Emily Lines over on the far side. Back and behind these then races Staten with Ratio 50 right down the inside, green and white colours. Right in between them in purple and gold then races Ballyfernog Boy. They're a couple of lengths in front of the next one racing, which is Party in the Park. Four Springs is just in behind that one in company with Leo Springs as they race on towards their 5th last fence. And as they do so, Jet of Wind in company with Beyond Emily Lines. They've been 1-2 since flagfall. They in turn will be followed next up in the field by Staten, and then in behind these races Ballyferno Boy with Raise You 50 and Party in the Park. They in turn are being tracked by Four Springs, and last of all is Leo Sun. But all 8 hold chances as they climb out over the fence that is 4 from the finish and make their way on around the bend that's going to take them into the back straight. And as they disappeared, it was Jet of Wind with the advantage from beyond Emily Lines in second. Just in behind these then was Ballyferno Boy, and they in turn were being tracked by Staten in company with Raise You 50. As we wait for them to reappear, they've got a good run now before they meet the fence that's going to be 3 from the finish. And Jet of Wind on debut for Jack Hendrick and Cormac Doyle had the advantage on disappearing as they continue to make their run down the hill, and on reappearing it is Jet of Wind down the inside, but right in between them goes beyond Emily Nines, and then comes Party in the Park with Leo Sun, who's took closer order in company with Four Springs as they go out over that one. Staten's dropped out, similar comments apply for Raise You 50, who's hard driven. Also hard driven is Ballyferno Boy, racing on their way now on towards their second last fence, and it is all change up front. Is coming through on the inside is beyond Emily Lines. Party in the Park's gone into second. Back in third behind these then races Four Springs, and they in turn have been followed by a driven along Jet of Wind, who in turn is clear over Leo Sun, racing out of the second last, and there was almost 3 in line. Four Springs around the outside has come through the lead under Noel McParland, being followed in second spot by Party in the Park. Looking held now in third is beyond Emily Lines, and they in turn have been followed by the long time leader, which is as Jet of Wind. But as they straighten on up towards their 14th and final fence, and coming to it, it's Four Springs has got the advantage to the last by 5-6 lengths, and he's only going further clear as he's safely out over the last. And on the run up towards the line, it's going to be Four Springs for Noel McParland and Jer Quinn, who win and win well. Four Springs takes the 4-year-old Geldings from back in second spot. Is going to go to Party in the Park. It's going to be tight for the third between over the far side beyond Emily Lines, the near side Leo Sun. They in turn have been followed in next by Raise You 50 in company with Staten, and then came Ballyferno Boy, and then the long time leader Jet of Wind, who weakened.